One of the rising stars in Hollywood today that I really wanted to talk about is a young lady by the name of Kaitlyn Dever. Now, of course, many people would have probably already have seen her in stuff like Dope Sick, Apple Cider Vinegar, or even in some of her movie roles like Booksmart, Detroit, and Ticket to Paradise. But in my opinion, she really hit mainstream levels of, I guess you could say, popularity when she was cast to portray Abby in this past season of Last of Us. And I thought she did a really good job of portraying Abby in that season. And I can't wait to see what they do with her in season 3 of Last of Us. But, you know, she didn't have quite a lot of screen time in that season of Last of Us. But what if she is basically on screen for the entire movie and all she has to use to convey emotion and, all of the other things that a human experiences. Uh, what if she just had her face to do all of that? And you put her smack dab in the middle of a crazy alien home invasion, and well, you get today's movie that I'm going to be talking about for Noobs for Horror October. Of course, my name is Daniel Strunk. Welcome to QuickTime Reactions, and welcome back to Noobs for Horror October, where I, a relative noob in the horror world, will take you down this winding, wicked road of all things spooky and scary in the month of October. And this is one that I have heard of a lot. I definitely remember when it first came out because I think I watched Chris Stuckman's review on it, and then I think I also watched 3C Films review on this movie. But now it is now my turn to review this movie in my own very unique ways. I am, of course, talking about No One Will Save You, which came out a couple years back in 2022, and of course stars Kaitlyn Dever. And she plays a character named Bryn, who has gone through a bit of a tumultuous time in her life, and the town has ostracized her for some unknown reason. But when night falls, there is a mysterious alien invasion that happens on the town. Not only that, they're invading people's homes, including Bryn's. So it is up to her to try and basically stop the home invasion from happening and from her getting abducted. So, have wanted to see for quite a while, but then after seeing Deaver's performance in Last of Us, I'm like, I'm definitely going to be talking about this movie this year, just because she did amazing in that, and I wanted to see what she did in a completely different environment with completely different roles reversed. And I have to say, this movie is an absolute trip. The first part of the movie is the home invasion stuff. Home invasion slash aliens are here vibes, which I think the trailers very much promised that it would be. And those scenes are absolutely tense. Like when she first exits her room and, sees something moving in the glass, in the the glass that leads into like the main, I would say, like living room area, and you just see something move in the glass, in like the, I don't know what it's called, the, I'm gonna call it a doorway, even though it's not a doorway. Um, but like you see that figure move, and then you see it scurry back into the kitchen. Like that is some scary, scary shit right there. And you catch like little, brief little glimpses of the aliens in this movie. And while I will agree that the alien designs are, at least for the ones that stand up like humans anyway, they're a bit basic. Um, the design for what I'm calling the monkey alien and the spider alien, that is actually pretty unique. I thought that was really, really cool. And the way that they actually like move and stuff, I've never seen aliens do that in movies where it's like these stiff movements. It's almost like they're like, extras in, I think it's Madonna did the song Vogue, right? Where it's like, all these like poses and stuff like that. Um, that's what the aliens movements, reminded me of. Um, but yeah, continue on this wild and wacky trip. We have that home invasion stuff, but then when, Bryn travels the town, we realize that there's an alien abduction going on because everyone in the town is slowly but surely getting, infected by these aliens and becoming a hive mind, essentially, and all going after Bryn because she is the one that is, the hardest, to basically assimilate uh, into the hive mind. Um, and when they eventually do get her, um, the aliens actually notice that there's a bit of a history with her, which leads into the third element, which is probably the thing that probably surprised most people when they first watched it, was the emotional element to this movie, where, we see early on that, Bryn lost her mom because she's sitting like right next to her grave, and we also see her writing letters to a person named Maud, and you see like, notes or sentences in the letters that she's writing, like, I can't believe it's been 10 years, and I don't know if I can forgive myself. And so you're wondering, like, okay, what exactly happened here? um and I think it's when one of the aliens is in what I assume is her childhood room, um where she has like, all the letters to Maud and like all their pictures hanging up, and the alien looks at him like, huh, okay. And then when they, abduct her and try to assimilate her, they put on this, facsimile of, everything's back to normal. Your model is, all better, and look, Maud is even here, and she's even alive. And but, Bryn, in like her only a couple of lines of dialogue, is like, I'm sorry, Bryn, I'm sorry, and yanks out the, what I'm calling the, um, hive mind urchin. Uh, that's the term I'm calling it. I don't know the exact term, but that's what I'm calling it. She yanks out the hive mind urchin and basically chucks it away. Um, the aliens, this is in my head, this is how I see it. Because she had that urchin in her mouth, They have her DNA, which makes them able to clone her. The clone actually does get a stab in her, but the actual Bryn had that box cutter stabbed the clone in the neck. That clone dies, but Bryn is still abducted. And when the aliens like touch her forehead, we get a look into Bryn's memories. We see her making models with her mom. That's where her obsession with model making came in, where we saw that in her house. We see the cops at her house with the dad to Maud, very sad, and then we get to the actual incident where they have a fight, and Bryn picks up a rock, strikes Maud in the head, and Maud dies. And living with that type of trauma, and we obviously saw that in the letters, like, I don't know if I can forgive myself. And then we see what I don't think it's the start of her writing those letters, but it could well as be. But we see her younger self, starting to write out a letter, and she reaches out her hand, and it's that sign of like, I forgive myself. And the aliens seem a bit intrigued by this, because in my head canon, it's like, okay, we're going to all these planets to take over all the planets where the beings are shitty. And so, oh, here's Earth, and there's not like a single redeeming person here in this little town. Like, why don't we just go here? But then they find the one person that does have something redeemable about them, and they're like, well, and they chat amongst each other, and they look up, and they're like, I assume like the ship, and similar in the way that Nope's ship was, the actual creature. My assumption is the alien ship is also a creature, but it's like the head creature. The ship is basically like, fine, send her back. And so they do send Bryn back. And she's, all happy and smiles and stuff like that. And, she's in the town. She waves at people, and they're still assimilated. They still have aliens in them. And now she lives in basically an assimilated town full of aliens. But thankfully, though, they do like her now. So, the title for the movie is very apt. No one will save you. Because you have to save yourself from all of the demons that hold you back in your own lives. Like, no one is going to save you from your own problems. You have to deal with those problems head on. And whether you deal with it in a healthy way or an unhealthy way, it's like, the way that you deal with it is like, that's the way that your life branches off. It's like, if you deal with it in an unhealthy way, you could potentially spiral. But if you deal with it in a healthy way, you could go on to live a very prosperous and full life after that. And I think that's the thing about this movie. It's like, Bryn allowed herself to be consumed by the trauma and the guilt that was associated with what happened with Maud. And the town never forgave her for that, especially since, the father is like the sheriff of the town. But once this alien invasion and home invasion happened, it's like, it's the most messed up form of therapy possible. But the aliens being shown that, this person has a drive about her to, fight for what is hers, but, to fight for also, the memories of, all the people that she has been with. It's like, find her very interesting. And, she gets to live a happy life. And I put happy in air quotes because basically she is living in a cult of subdued people being controlled by aliens, and she's the only person that isn't controlled by aliens. That's pretty messed up, if I do say so myself. Kaitlyn Dever in this is absolutely awesome in this. Like, every single emotion that she can express on her face is there in full clarity. Like, she does an absolutely amazing job with. I know it's not a lot of material being given to her. I think she has like maybe 2 to 5 lines in the whole movie. Um, and it's absolutely remarkable what she was able to accomplish with so little. And just, again, all acting with like her face. It's it was absolutely astounding. And the score, I should also mention. Score being done by Joseph Trapanese. I hope I'm saying that last name correctly. Um, I thought he also did a really good job with the score, creating a tense, but also when it needed to be whimsical score, and at times when it needed it to be very emotional score, for those hard hitting moments later on towards the tail end of the movie. I thought he did an absolutely amazing job with that. And yeah, this is a really, really, really good movie. Like, performances in this are really good, especially from Kaitlyn Dever. Um, the alien designs, while not like being, out of this world insane, like maybe being a touch generic, a couple of them are actually really, really good. The story in this, I really, really dig. Um, and it was really well written and very well directed. So, a tip of the hat to Mr. Brian Duffield for writing and directing this, because he did a really, really good job with that. But yeah, that is it for my review of No One Will Save You. If you have seen this movie, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of this movie and how do you interpret this movie with all of the craziness that happens in this. But yeah, that is pretty much it for me, guys. Be safe out there, and remember, it is not a completely bad thing to sleep with some lights on, because you never know when there's going to be something or someone in your room. So my suggestion is just to sleep with a light on, so that you will never ever be surprised by something in the darkness. I'm just saying. And I will catch you guys next time.